Back with you in the top of the fourth inning. Briar Cliff still clings to that 1-0 lead after scoring a run in the first inning. Erickson is now up for the Chargers from Briar Cliff. He popped out to second base, his only at bat so far on the day. That pitch misses for ball one. Fastball down the middle, swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1. Gutierrez so far has only allowed one hit. Unfortunately, that one hit is what has gotten that run across home plate. Gave up a walk and then a catcher's interference. Put runners at first and second, and then that hit allowed the run to score. Panthers out hitting the Chargers 3-1. Swing and a miss there on the 2-1 pitch, evens the count at 2-2. Erickson is hitting in the cleanup spot for the Chargers. Batting .228 on the season. That pitch, tried and get him to chase after that. He does not. Sits back on that one, so that fills the count at 3-2. Three-two pitch is up and behind him for ball four, so Gutierrez walks the first batter of the fourth inning. And that's going to bring up Darrell Wilson, who's got the only hit on the afternoon for the Chargers. Chargers have made some outstanding defensive plays as the Panthers have had runners. That bunt there is going to be a perfectly placed bunt down the first base line that is going to get the runner over to second base in scoring position. Has a 3-4 putout at first, advances that runner, but two tremendous plays by the middle infield as they have caught some line drives that have ended up doubling up the Panthers with runners on first and second with less than 2 outs looking to score. Unfortunately, cannot get the hit balls by the Panthers into the gaps enough to score a runner. Runner is in scoring position, 1 out. Chase Hernandez up to bat. He hits the first pitch over the second base bag. And a throw from center field is going to miss the catcher Bergner and allow Hernandez to advance to second. So Erickson only able to go over to third base and holds up, but that throw there that gets beyond the catcher allows a runner to advance 90 feet over. So now with 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position. Brandon Aminta, the second baseman, 0 for 1. First pitch is low and outside for ball 1. That pitch just low for ball 2. 2-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Looked like a steal home. They had a squeeze bunt on there. Great jump by the third Erickson at third. About halfway home before there's contact made by Amenta, but he bunts that foul. So now the Panthers defense, knowing what's coming, going to be a little more prepared. I don't expect Briar Cliff to try that right away. But if they do, it's not going to be quite as a surprise. Apologize, I didn't even realize that was a 2-2 count, bunt foul. That was strike 3 for Amenta. And then with 2 outs, Alex Colgrove just grounded out to second base. So the Panthers and Gutierrez get out of that jam with runners at second and third with less than 2 outs. And a bunt third strike, or a bunt foul on the third strike. Out number 2, and then a ground out to the second baseman. So the Panthers still looking to get their first run of the ball game, still out hitting the Chargers 3-2, but the Panthers really need to get some good hits here into the gaps. Had 2 hard hit balls with runners at first and second, but line drives to the second baseman and to the first baseman that have ended the previous 2 innings. So looking here for the Panthers in the 4th inning will be Bueno, Bergner, and Goodall. Bottom of second, Bueno fouls away the first 2 pitches that he sees down the third base line. Next pitch outside for ball 1. High off-speed pitch there. Bueno fouls that one back behind the grandstand area. Bueno lined out to second in the first inning. This pitch, he's going to foul down the third base line once again. Lefty on lefty here. Off-speed pitch, he hangs onto that one, fouls it down the first base line, just out in front of that off-speed pitch. Bueno is batting just .280 on the season. This one's going to be grounded to the first baseman, and he's going to be able to step on first base for the out unassisted in the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Josh Bergner. Big swing and a miss there puts the count at 0-2 for Bergner, who popped a short in the 2nd inning. And a swing and a miss there, so 3 swings. 3 strikes will be an out. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning brings up the left fielder, Sean Goodall. Strike 1 there on the first pitch from Boynton. Boynton has a 5.02 ERA. Pitch is low for ball 1. Panthers just can't seem to get the hits they need here in the run support. Fouls that one off, 1-2. I don't know if anybody watching and listening has noticed in the background of your video feed that there is a charter bus. I believe that's Briar Cliff's charter bus. And Goodall is going to line this one into center field. Good looking hit, but that hangs up too long for Wilson in center field to get the 3rd out. After 4 complete innings of play, score is 1-0 in favor of the Chargers. But in the background of your video, you'll see a Briar Cliff charter bus, and behind it is a state trooper. And I don't know if you've realized, but that's actually been there since the game started. And that trooper's moved from the back to the front. The bus is actually pulled up a few feet from where it was earlier. But we're not sure exactly what's happening. DJ Drews is up here in the press box with me, and he's trying to figure it out as well. He's got a few calls into some friends, trying to figure out if he can get the lowdown on what's going on there. We think it might be a lighting issue or expired tags or something like that, but we'll keep you apprised to what's going on there as well. At Levitt Stadium again, score is 1-0 in favor of the visiting Chargers from Briar Cliff. They have their 9-hitter Colgrove due up and then back to the top of the batting order with Penrod and Hancox Jr. Colgrove tries a bunt his way onto first base, but that goes just foul. Marquez, playing third base today, make sure he grabs that in foul territory so that does not come back into fair territory for a infield single. And that's going to bring up Josh Penrod, or excuse me, no it's not. That was a foul ball. That's strike 1. Just so excited to figure out what's going on back in that trooper. Next pitch, and that's going to be hit deep into left field, coming right at us. right up against the fence is Sean Goodall. I thought for a moment that was going to be gone. With the wind we had this weekend, that definitely would have been about 6 or 7 rows deep. But Goodall actually caught that about a step in front of the fence, but his momentum carried him back into the fence for the first out. Solid hit there by Colgrove is out number 1, and that's going to bring up Josh Penrod, the third baseman. Penrod is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. First pitch is a strike. Next pitch down the middle of the plate, 0-2. Swing and a miss, so that's strike number 3. Are you keeping track of strikeouts? Actually, I have it up over here. That's going to be the 7th strikeout of the afternoon for Gutierrez. Didn't feel like it'd been that many, but looking at the play-by-play there, it's showing that, and that's going to bring up Hancock's 0 for 1 on the afternoon with a strikeout. Pitch misses, low and outside, ball 1, ball 2. Fastball right down the middle of the plate, called strike. So the 2-1 pitch here from Fito. Swing and a miss, evens the count at 2-2. And he swings at a high fastball there, stays alive, fouls that one off behind him into the backstop. Count still even 2-2. Hancock's Jr. is batting just over 300. Swing and a miss there is going to be the 8th strikeout for the Fito, and that'll bring us to the bottom of the 5th inning with our 7, 8, 9 hitters, who are actually 2 for 3 on the day with Pepe, Jordan Pella, Jordan Suter. Back here at Levitt Stadium, Pepe Marquez finds himself quickly behind in the count 0-2.
Yep.
He is 1 for 1. He singled to right his first plate appearance. Swing and fouls that one off as well. Panthers looking to get in their sweet zone here as they're outscoring their opponents in the 5th inning. So it's perfect time to be getting into the scoring column here. Panthers also outscoring themselves, their opponents in the 4th inning. We did not get it there, but on the season, the Panthers have actually been outscored in their first 3 innings on the year, but from 4 innings on, they predominantly outscore their opponents. So we'll see if we can keep that string alive here in these last 3 innings of play. And Pepe gets a grounder over to the shortstop. And that could be bad news there as Pepe pulls up limp, and it looks like he might have tweaked a hamstring or something there. I thought that ball might be deep enough in the infield to allow him to reach first safely, but about halfway through he just pulled up, and he is definitely limping now, and he's going to just walk back to the dugout. We'll see if athletic trainer Chad Karcher can get him fixed up right away and back out there to play third base after this half inning. In this case, it looks like Colton Bennett's going to start warming up over there to get loose. Maybe he's going to be the one that'll go in to replace him at third base, as that brings up Jordan Pella, the right fielder. Pitch looked a little low, but it's going to be a called strike. And another line out to the second baseman for Pella and the Panthers. Hard hit balls, but right to the Chargers' defensive unit. This brings up Jordan Suter. First pitch to Suter is ball 1. Fouls that one off into the parking lot. Evens the count at 1-1. Fouls that pitch off just as well, this time into the net of the backstop for strike number 2. It sits on this one. He's going to pop this one up. I don't think it's going to have enough. He gets under that a little too far down the left field line, about 4 feet shy of the fence. And that's going to be 3 up, 3 down for the Panthers. So after 5 complete innings of play, Panthers still find themselves behind 1-0. Leading things off for the Briarcliff Chargers, Scott Morton, the DH, 0 for 2 with the strikeout. And he's going to ground this one up the middle. Enriquez able to grab that one, throws it over to Suter at first, who is covering just in time to get the first out of the inning and bring up Jake Erickson, the first baseman. The 1-2, the count here to Erickson. Drew a walk his last plate appearance. Watches that pitch go up for ball 2. This one is going to be smoked. It is going to be foul ball. That was over the fence by about 15 or 20 feet. From this angle, I couldn't tell if it was fair or foul. I never saw the umpire actually even make a judgment, but I saw the hitter, Erickson, round first and come back to the plate. So I can start breathing again there, as I thought we were in trouble on that one. But a 2-2 pitch, just a long foul ball. He's going to hit this one about the same spot, further foul, not quite as far, and stay alive. This one he's going to put in play. He's going to pop this one up. Ivan Perez right underneath that, and he's going to make the catch there for out number 2. So Erickson, hard hitting. He's got 3 home runs on the year. Not going to get one there in fair territory. And that will bring up Darrell Wilson, the center fielder. Wilson is 1 for 1 with a single and then also a sacrifice bunt. Off-speed pitch there. Strike 1. Fastball down the middle for strike number 2. So the 0-2 pitch here from Fito. Look to see if he can get Wilson to chase after something. More down the middle of the plate, and that's going to be hit just foul down the right field line. Thought Fito might throw something a little further out of the strike zone with the 0-2 pitch, but that one might have hung up just a little too long, as that's outside for in the area where Wilson can swing and make contact. Fastball just a little high for ball 1. That pitch, trying to get him chase after that one is Bergner's got to dive to try and catch that one for ball number 2. Fastball down the middle, and he's going to bloop this one into shallow center field, and the second baseman, Perez, going to get underneath that for out number 3. So the bottom of the 6th inning, it will be back to the top of the batting order with Rudy Perez, Anthony Enriquez, and Ivan Perez. Perez is 0 for 2 at the ground, or 0 for 1, excuse me, with a ground out and a sac bunt. Watches that first pitch go by for strike 1. Next pitch misses, evens the count at 1-1.
Okay. Well, I will call you after I'm done working these games, and we'll talk more.
2-1 pitch low for ball 3.
Okay, I will. All right, we'll see it.
And that's going to be ball 4. Anthony Enriquez now up for the Panthers. Runner is at first, and Rudy Perez. And a pretty hot hitting streak so far. I mean, he's been hitting well the past week. We'll see if he can get on board safely here. I guess he did get on in the 3rd inning by hit by pitch. He's going to hit this one. I think it's going to land just foul down the left field line. Looked like if that was going to be fair, Perez was going to be making quite the trug around second and third, possibly going home. So now the count 1-1 to Enriquez. No outs here, bottom of the sixth inning. Rudy Perez on first. Two-one pitch here as Enriquez steps back into the batter's box. And he's going to bunt this one down the third base line. And he is going to get another sacrifice bunt for the Panthers, advancing a runner into scoring position. Enriquez trying to see if he could run that one out, but a quick fielding Penrod at third gets the throw over to Erickson just in time. But with less than 2 outs, runner is in scoring position once again for the Panthers. So far they've been unable to advance a runner home, though, in these situations, as lineouts have pretty much ended any threat the Panthers have had. So we'll see with a runner on second base if Ivan Perez, who's 1 for 2 on the afternoon, can change that here. And we are going to have a run over to third. Perez steals third. I wondered if he was going to do that. I was kind of shocked that he didn't try and steal second while Ant was still up so that we didn't have to sacrifice an out. But he can get a bigger jump, a bigger lead from second. So he does steal over to third. So the Panthers, just a deep, hard-hit ball in fair territory away from tying this ball game. That pitch is going to hit the outside part of the plate to even the count at 1-1. So this has been a very defensive-minded game, as I feel like there's been 3 hits for York, 2 for Briar Cliff since about the second inning. Again, Briar Cliff scored in the first. This is going to be a bloop into left field. The left fielder tries to make a dive at that one, does not. So that is going to be a stand-up double for Ivan Perez. But more importantly, that's going to be an RBI double, as that's going to tie the ball game here and put the Panthers in scoring position with that lead run. Hancox Jr., the left fielder, trying to make a diving grab there, as that was a hard hit ball. It was kind of a line drive, so it was going to be tough. I don't think Perez was actually tagging up on that, so he would have probably had to come back to the base, as that was just such a low driven ball. But when Hancox did not come up with that, it actually went underneath his glove back to the fence. A great backup by the center fielder Wilson, but Ivan Perez stands at second base, scores 1-1, and Jose Bueno in the batter's box. 2-0 now the count to Bueno. Bueno lined out to second and grounded out to first. So we'll see if he can get something in between the first baseman and the second baseman into that gap there that could eventually score Perez from second base. Pitch is in the dirt. 3-0, and a late run on Perez. Did not get the jump right away after that ball was in the dirt. It looked like the catcher was having trouble finding it. And Perez takes off to third. So the Panthers 90 feet away from taking the lead for the first time in today's ball game. A 3-0 count here to Bueno. He's obviously going to be taking this one. 1 out here, bottom of the 6th inning. watches the 3-0 pitch, look low, but that's going to be called strike. So the count now 3-1. He's going to make some contact on this one, but foul it onto the concession stand for strike 2. So the count's now full to Jose Bueno. Lindsey is on the mound now for the Chargers. I forgot to mention that. There's a pitch out, ball 4. I don't think that was intentional, but it was well outside the strike zone. So that's going to put runners at first and third, but that is going to put a force at second, giving them the opportunity to get a inning-ending double play. But Lindsey, I'm not sure if he came out. Did he start this inning? So this is his inning, so he is responsible for that one run and both these base runners, and that brings Josh Bergner, the catcher, to the plate. He is 0 for 2 with a pop out and a strikeout. And he shows bunt. That pitch is low for ball 1. Looks like they had a safety squeeze called on there. Perez did not take off on the pitch, so he's waiting to see what the bunt looks like before he takes off. So the 1-0 pitch here from Lindsey. Low again. Oh, it's not. It might still be low, but it's going to be a called strike, so 1-1 the count. Sean Goodall is in the on-deck circle for the Panthers, looking to see if we can get some type of a rally here. Ivan Perez trying to get in the peripheral vision of the pitcher as he tries to jump around a little bit there and take off, and the pitcher steps off and tries to see if he can get Bueno at first, but does not make the throw. A big swing and a miss there by Bergner puts it at 1-2 the count now. The 1-2 pitch here from Lindsey. 1 out, runners at the corners for the Panthers. High fastball. He's going to swing at that, foul it off behind the press box to stay alive. One-two pitch. Off-speed pitch, and that's going to be a hard-hit grounder over to the third baseman. Third baseman cannot field that one cleanly. I think he was trying to figure out if he was going to try and go home or go over to first base. But I believe that's going to be credited as an E5, as he clearly just did not get that in his glove when he came up with it. Did a smart thing by holding that instead of trying to throw and force over to first base, and the chances that he tried rushing that throw too much and would throw it out of play. So that's going to put runners on first and second. Bergner thought he was going to have a courtesy runner, but they're actually going to run somebody for Bueno. Oh, they're running somebody for Bueno and for Bergner. Well, it looks like Cody Bach is going to be running at second. Not sure who they put over there at first. Looks like Mike Johnson is going to be the pinch runner, or the courtesy runner, excuse me. Cody Bach will be an official pinch runner for the Panthers. And Sean Goodall is in the batter's box. He is 0 for 2, a line out to second base and a line out to center. So only 1 out here due to that defensive error. Runners at first and second. Panthers do have the lead. The lead now 2-1. Hard hit ball up the middle. That's going to be to the second baseman. Or excuse me, the shortstop throws it over to the second baseman. So they get the force at second on a fielder's choice. Try and back pick Cody Bach rounding third, but he is back safely. So now there's 2 outs. Runners at the corners again. And that's going to bring up Pepe Marquez. No, excuse me. Pepe is probably out. It's Colton Bennett. Time called and granted. Was a pitch there off speed right over the middle for called strike. It was a good job by Sean Goodall, though, not allowing the double play there with his speed. They were looking for the double play there, but they knew they were not going to be able to turn it over to first, so quickly looked to third base to see if Bach was off rounding there. And they try a steal from first, a delay steal, where he could get in a rundown. Goodall just stops right in the middle there. And after they throw to second base, the runner from third, Bach, goes home. And they just miss the throw at second, and that leaves everybody safe. So 0-2 the count here to Bennett. He swings and misses on that one for strike 3, but the Panthers score 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning to take the lead for the first time, and they are 3 defensive outs away from taking game 1 here against the Chargers. All right, Hernandez leads off with a single, just fair down the third base line. Bennett cannot stop it going past the base there, but Goodall makes a good stop in left field, not allowing the runner to advance that single into a double. So runner on first, no outs, count is 0-1 to Aminta. Vito on the mound still for the Panthers. Swing and a miss there for strike number 2. And a swing on a check swing miss for strike 3 for the so the second strikeout for Aminta on the afternoon. Number 9 for Fito will give the first out. Panthers now 2 outs away, but a runner is at first, so the tying run comes to the plate in Adam Webb, the catcher. He watches the first pitch down the middle for strike 1. Just in case you guys were wondering, that police officer is still back in the background behind that bus. Good looking pitch there, just drops outside of the strike zone, evens the count at 1-1. Fastball outside, ball 2. Good looking off speed pitch there, hangs just long enough for a called strike 2. Looks like PJ Matha is in the bullpen, warming up just in case here if Vito cannot finish things off here in the 7th inning. That fastball just misses high for ball 3. So count now full to Webb. Vito in danger of putting runners at first and second with less than 2 outs. This one's going to be put up in the air, shallow down the right field line, just foul. Rudy Perez tries to make the snag there. Dives and misses that one, so keeps the count full, 3-2. Adam Webb is batting .414 on the year with 2 home runs, a triple and 2 doubles. He has walked 8 times so far on the year. That's going to be a called third strike. And that's double-digit strikes now for Fito. And that is 2 outs for the Chargers. Runner still at first base. And again, the tying run comes to the batter's box, the shortstop, Alex Colgrove. He takes fastball down the middle for a called strike. Colgrove does have 1 home run on the year. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So quickly, Fito finds himself well ahead in the count, 0-2, looking to see if he can maybe get this Charger Colgrove to chase after something for strike 3 and end the game. And a high fastball for ball 1. Fastball down the middle. This is going to be hit deep the other way. Pella back 5 feet in front of the fence, and that's going to be out number 3, and that's going to be the ball game, folks. Panthers come from behind, scoring 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. for a 3-1 lead, or 3-1 win, excuse me. Panthers out-hit the Chargers 4-3. That was a close game, but Vito gets the complete game win, striking out 10 in 7 innings of action. Luke Lindsay gets the loss for the Chargers as he gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, 2 earned, 1 unearned. And the Panthers now extend their winning streak to 5 games and their overall record to 22-14. We'll be back in about 20 minutes for Game 2 of this doubleheader.